Hi, my name is Utpal and I am working as a product specialist in L2L3 PM team. Today I am going to show you a IxNetwork configuration for OSPF V2 segment routing. This is a new feature being introduced in IxNetwork in RT2 2015. Now, before we go and show you the IxNetwork configuration, let me show you the topology, like what we are going to show you. So here in the we are actually doing this demo with a back-to-back setup. That means two Ixia chassis ports connected back to back. Left hand side that will be emulating this router R1, and in right hand side it will be emulating router R2. Now this router R1, R2, these are segment routing enabled, and the start SID configured in R1 is 1 lakh and SID count is 100. The start SID configured in R2 is 2 lakh and the SID count is 100 in the right hand side. Now there are three other routers connected with this R1. Those are connected in ring topology like R3, R4, R5. These are in ring topology, and there is a single network connected for each of these things. Now these routers, whatever you see in the left hand side, these are also segment routing enabled. Now the level values configured for N1, N2 and N3 are respectively 20, 21 and 22. And in the right hand side there is a single network connected in 4, and the level value configured for this N4 is 20. So what we'll be doing is we'll be starting the protocol and checking whether the learn info shows correct level values over here or not. For example, in R1, if we see the learn info, it should show like N4 with level value as 2,20,000, and if we see in R2, the in learn info it should show like N1 is having level value of 1,20,000, N2 should have level value of 1,21,000 and N3 should have level value of 1,22,000. Now after verifying the learn info and verifying that the sessions are up, what we'll be doing is we'll be sending traffic. That means from each of these networks like N2, N3, N1, we'll be sending traffic destined for N4, and we'll be checking whether the packet is coming with correct level values or not. Similarly, this will be a bidirectional traffic. That means from N4 also we'll be sending traffic for each destined for each of these networks like N1, N2, N3, and there also we'll be checking if there is any traffic loss or not. Okay, so let us come to IxNetwork configuration now. So for this demo purpose we have reserved two ports. So let us reserve this Ethernet 1 for left hand side router. Click on next. Now OSPF V2 segment routing configuration that is available in this routing switching. Yes, in this routing switching you can find this OSPF V2. Just click on OSPF V2, finish. Okay, and in the right hand side, that means R2 configuration, what we will be doing is we will be reserving another port for that, an append port. Click on next and click on OSPF V2, then finish. Okay, now this multiplier, let us put it as 1 for this demo. That means only one emulated router is there in the left hand side, and in the right hand side also there is only one emulated router. Now let us do the IP address configuration first. Now if you see over here, this IP address, this is having 100.102 and gateway address is 100.101 in the so let us come to OSPF V2 IF configuration, and here network type, let us put it as point to point, and in the right hand side let us put the reverse configuration. Like here this IP address, let us put as 100.101 and gateway address is 100.102. Okay, so let us come to OSPF V2, and here also network type let us configure as point to point. Okay, so quickly let us go through the configuration what we have done. In the left hand side router, the IP address is 100.102, and in in the right hand 100.102 and gateway address is 100.101. In the right hand side it is 100.101 and the gateway address is 100.102, and OSPF v2 configuration we have done. Now the segment routing configuration for this emulated routers, that will be available over here. Well, let us come to this OSPF v2 router configuration. Okay, so here you can find the segment routing, like by default it will be disabled, so just user needs to enable segment routing. Now for the node SID, this sRGB range count we can configure, multiple sRGB can be configured. So for now let us keep it intact, like sRGB range count as 1, and put this start SID as 1 lakh. As you can see over here in the left hand side router, the start SID is 1 lakh. So let us put 1 lakh over here. Okay, done. And for the SID count, let us put it as 100. Okay, there are different flag values that user can change over here, like this index value and all those things. Let us keep it in as it is for now. In the right hand side also similarly, let us come to OSPF v2 router, enable segment routing, and the start SID for the right hand side router, let us put it as 2 lakh. Okay, and the start SID count, let us put it as 100. So here you can see the index value, this also can be changed, like you can put any index value over here. The algorithm in P, these are different flag values that user can change it. So now the OSPF v2 SR configuration for the emulated router is done according to our topology, whatever we proposed initially. Now let us create the simulated topology. As you can see in the left hand side, from R1 there are 3 nodes connected in ring topology. So let us do the same thing over here. Come over here and then add this, and then come to network topology, click on next. So here different network topologies are supported by IxNetwork. Let us select it as ring and number of nodes as 3, then click on finish. Done. So here the routers, whatever you can see, these are also segment routing. We can enable segment routing over there. So what we need to do is you go to this OSPF simulated routers. The simulated router segment routing configuration will be available over here. So just user needs to enable segment routing, and different index values can be configured over here. Now each of these routers in the simulated topology, they will be having their own sRGB, like start SID, SID count and all those things. Let us keep it as it is for now. So here the index values also can be configured over here, and we have enabled segment routing. Now if you see this topology for this, each of these routers, there is only one network we are simulating, like N1, N2 and N3. So for that, what we will be doing is, for these are different LSAs supported over here, like OSPF simulated router, external type 1 routes, type 2 routes, summary LSA and all those stuff. So let us put this value, activate this thing, like as you can see over here, there is a single network connected to each of the routers. So let us activate this thing, and the index value, let us put it as 20 as we have defined in our topology. So let us configure this level value as SID index value as 20, 21, 22, as you can see over here. So then come to next one, we can keep it as it is for now. Then summary IP, let us configure this thing, and this one let us configure maybe 25 onwards, like this. 2 routes we have configured. So what we have done is we have enabled segment routing in the emulated router, and also in the simulated router we have configured enabled segment routing. We have configured the level values for these things. Now if you come over here in this device group, in OSPF router configuration, here we have configured the SID. Now adjacency SID, those values can also be configured. For that, what you need to do is you need to enable this entry, like enable adjacency SID. Okay, over here in the emulated router. Similarly, in the right hand side, let us configure this adjacency SID and enable it. So let us keep the default value like 9001 over here. Now if you see this topology, there is a single network connected to R2. So let us do that configuration over here. IPv4 address pool, then click on finish. This is a single route connected, route range. So here also we can configure the SID label index values for this route. So as you can see over here, this topology, this level value should be, we can configure it as 20. Okay, so now the basic configuration for whatever we proposed, that is being done. Okay, so if you see, come to this topology. So what we have done is we have enabled segment routing for each of these routers. We have configured the level values. We have configured node SID, prefix SID, as well as adjacency SID for each of these things. So this is the overall topology, as you can see over here. In the right hand side, there is a single network. There we have enabled it, and in the left hand side, we have configured this ring topology. So now this configuration is done. So one more configuration is pending from our side. Just OSPF v2 router. Okay, so this discard learn LSA, let us disable it. Similarly, in the right hand side, let us disable this discard learn LSA. Now let us start the protocol. Okay, so here the session info you can find, like OSPF v2 router per port, like how many sessions are up, what kind of hello message and all those things are getting transmitted. What we will be doing is we will come to this left hand side router, come to this interface and check the learn info. For checking the learn info, what we will be doing is you come over here, get learn info detailed. Okay, now this is router 1, that means left hand side. Here we should see the network group that is configured in the right hand side and corresponding label over here in summary IP LSA. So here you can see the level value. This should be level value, and this level value is whatever is coming in, that is 220. So let us come to the right hand side router. Here also let us come to this OSPF v2 interface and get learn info detailed. So here we should see the routes configured over here in this topology. This N1, N2, N3, these routes we should be able to see over here. So let us come to this, the level value like 201, 1, 2 and 3, and corresponding level values you can see over here in summary IP LSA. Other things we didn't actually configure the like summary AS and all those things. Another important thing is this router LSA. We have configured the adjacency SID, as you can remember. So that value, whatever we configure, that will be available under this router LSA. And since, as you remember, we have configured the label value like 9001 over here. So that value is getting propagated, and you can see over here. Similarly, in the right hand side, left hand side router also you can see this, like get learn info detailed. From here also you can refresh these ports, like learn info you can refresh, and here you can see this label value, adjacency label value. So basically whatever routes we have configured in the network group, those values are getting correctly propagated, and we can see the label values in the other side. So learn info, this is how we will be checking the learn info over here. Now, so now our configuration part is done, control plane is up. Now let us come to traffic. Okay, as you can see, let me delete this traffic item whatever is configured for now and create from scratch. Okay, now for traffic item what we'll be doing is we'll be adding L23 traffic over here. Type of traffic, let us put it as IPv4, and let us select bidirectional traffic, and from topology 1, that means left hand side router, here you can find all the routes whatever we have configured. So here as you can see, like OSPF simulated router, type 1 routes, type 2 routes and all those things. Since we have configured only type 1 routes, so let us select that one. Similarly in the right hand side, let us configure this basic IPv4 address. As you can see, like in the right hand side there is a single network connected. So we have selected this, and then after that click on next. So here in this packet QoS you can find the packet content over here, then click on next. Keep this flow group setup as it is, none, default let us keep it, and the frame size also let us keep it as it is. Line rate you can configure, let us put it as 100% of line rate. And this flow tracking, let us track the flows based on say MPLS label value, IPv4 source address, IPv4 destination address. Okay, now click on next. These values also you can skip it because we are not dynamically, the MPLS level values won't be updated for this. So after this configuration is done, you can find this view port group packets. You can see the you can preview that whatever we configured. Then click on next, and you can validate the items like whatever traffic items you have configured, and after that is done you can click on finish. So now our traffic portion is configured. So let us apply this traffic, and then start it. Okay, starting L23 traffic. So you can see like in select views we have selected like OSPF v2 router as well as L23 traffic items. Click on OK. So here in flow statistics you can find all those things like whatever we have configured. So we are as you remember, like we have tracked the flows based on IPv4 source address, destination address and MPLS label values. So if you remember this topology, from here we are sending traffic to this. So total there will be 6 flows, like from here N1, N2, N3, 2, N4, and it will be bidirectional. So for each of the flows, like what will be the source IP, what will be destination IP, and what is the MPLS label values, that user can see over here, like traffic item, for different traffic items, what is the TX frame, what is the RX frame, and if there is any frame loss, that user can find easily over here. This is how you can check the traffic flows as well as in the level values. So to summarize, what we have done is we have configured one emulated router over here, and in the right hand side another emulated router. We have enabled segment routing for each of these routers and enabled the node configured node SID. In the left hand side we have configured 3 routers connected in ring topology. So here also for each of the routers we have enabled segment routing, and also the prefix SID we have configured for each of the prefixes configured over here. For this device group, that means the emulated topology, we have enabled adjacency SID. Similarly in the right hand side we have enabled adjacency SID in OSPF v2 IF, and here in this prefix we have configured the index or level values over here, and then we have checked the learn info for in both the routers like R1, R2, and checked whether the learn info is getting properly updated or not. After that we have enabled send traffic from each of these networks connected to the emulated router, and in the other side we are checking whether there is any traffic loss or not. We have enabled the flow tracking based on IPv4 source, destination, and MPLS level value, and then we have checked whether there is any traffic loss or not. So this brings us to the conclusion of this demo. Hope you have understood the basic OSPF v2 segment routing configuration that is needed in IxNetwork. If you have any question on this, please get back to us. Thank you.